Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama.
Hare Krishna, Sapan Prabhu, Raju Prabhu, Deepa Matadi, Vani Matadi, Kandavat Pranam, all glory to Shri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Will start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamne Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Valsadi Gaura Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Mugankarati Vachalam Pangapulam Gayatagin Vetkupatama Havanda Shri Guru Dinadaranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Misharam Om Apavitra Pavitra Vasarva Vasangata Yasmari Pundari Kakshan Sabhashya Abhyantaram Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Suraya Divivashakshana Tatam Sadviprasa Vipanyam Jagruham Samindate Vishnum Yat Paramam Padam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram. So let us continue from Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto 1st chapter where we left. That is the 7th verse. We'll continue from there. I'm just sharing here. Yeah. Please start, Matai. Deepa Matai.
Yes, Guruji. Can't see. Yeah. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Sukdev Goswami continued. The first created being and most powerful demigod in this universe is Lord Brahma, who is always responsible for developing universal affairs born directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He dedicates his activities to the welfare of the entire universe, for he knows the purpose of the universal creation. This supremely powerful Lord Brahma, accompanied by his associates in the personified Vedas, left his own abode in the highest planetary system and descended to the place of Prince Priyavrata's meditation. Purport. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Self, Atma, is the source of everything, as explained in... Can you scroll up?
Yeah.
Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Self, Atma, is the source of everything, as explained in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadhyasya Yataha. Because Brahma was born directly from Vishnu, he is called Atma Yoni. He is also called Bhagwan. Although generally Bhagwan refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu or Lord Krishna. Sometimes great personalities such as demigods like Lord Brahma, Narada or Lord Shiva are also addressed as Bhagwan because they carry out the purpose of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Brahma is called Bhagwan because he is the secondary creator of this universe. He is always thinking of how to improve the situation of the conditioned souls who have come to the material world to enjoy material activities. For this reason, he disseminates the Vedic knowledge throughout the universe for everyone's guidance. Vedic knowledge is divided into two parts, Pravritti Marga and Nivritti Marga. Nivritti Marga is the path of negating sense enjoyment, and Pravritti Marga is the path by which the living entities are given a chance to enjoy and at the same time are directed in such a way that they can go back home, back to Godhead. Because ruling over this universe is a great responsibility, Brahma must force many Manus in different ages to take charge of universal affairs. Under each Manu, there are different kings who also execute the purpose of Lord Brahma. It is understood from previous explanations that the father of Dhruv Maharaj, King Uttanapad, ruled over the universe because his elder brother Priyavrata practiced austerity from the very beginning of his life. Thus, up to the point of the Prachetas, the kings of the universe were all descendants of Uttanapad Maharaj. Since there were no suitable kings after the Prachetas, Swayambhu Manu went to the Gandhamadana hill to bring back his eldest son Priyavrata, who was meditating there. Swayambhuva Manu requested Priyavrata to rule over the universe. When he refused, Lord Brahma descended from the supreme planetary system known as Satyaloka to request Priyavrata to accept the order. Lord Brahma did not come alone. He came with other great sages like Marichi, Atreya and Vashishta to convince Priyavrata that it was necessary for him to follow the Vedic injunctions and accept the responsibility of ruling over the world. Lord Brahma also brought with him the personified Vedas, his constant associates. A significant word in this verse is Swabhavanat, indicating that Lord Brahma descended from his own abode. Every demigod has his own abode. Indra, the king of the demigods, has his own abode, as do Chandra, the lord of the moon planet, and Surya, the predominating deity of the sun planet. There are many millions of demigods, and the stars and planets are their respective homes. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. Those who worship the demigods go to their different planetary systems. Lord Brahma's abode, the highest planetary system, is called Satyaloka or sometimes Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka usually refers to the spiritual world. The abode of Lord Brahma is Satyaloka, but because Lord Brahma resides there, it is also sometimes called Brahmaloka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Mataji. Thank you. Text 8. Vani Mataji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavardhana.
Chappandu.
Yeah. Elder brother is Priyavrata. The second one is Uttanapad, right?
Yeah.
Now Uttanapada's descendants is fourth canto completely. And there at the end, Daksha comes again, second birth. Prachetas, from Prachetas, Daksha come. Okay?
Yeah.
Daksha will not take to the ruling. He will not rule the kingdom initially. He will go for austerity. Then this personality comes. Yes? That is what is given in the previous?
Yeah, correct.
In the previous purport? Okay.
Thank you, Bro. Yeah. Vani Mataji, please start.
Yes, Prabhuji. As Lord Brahma descended on his career, the great swan, all the residents of the planets named Siddhaloka, Gandharvaloka, Tadhyaloka, and Charanaloka, as well as great sages and demigods flying in the different airplanes, assembled within the canopy of the sky to receive Lord Brahma and worship him. As he received respect and adoration from the residents of the various planets, Lord Brahma appeared just like a full moon, surrounded by illuminating stars. Lord Brahma's great swan then arrived at the border of Gandhamandana hill and approached Prince Priyavrata, who was sitting there.
Purport.
Yeah, purport. It appears. Yeah, it appears from this description that there is regular interplanetary travel between the planets of the demigods. Another significant point is that there is a planet covered mostly by great mountains, one of which is Gandhamandana hill. Three great personalities, Priyavrata, Narada, and Swayambhu Manu, were sitting on this hill. According to Brahma Samhita, each universe is filled with different planetary systems, and each system has a unique appearance. For example, on Siddhaloka, all the residents are very advanced in the powers of mystic yoga. They can fly from one planet to another without airplanes or other flying machines. Similarly, the residents of Gandharvaloka are expert in Gandharvaloka are expert in musical science, and those
Satyaloka.
No, I'm struggling with my phone, Prabhuji. Yeah, and those on Satyaloka are all great saints. The interplanetary system undoubtedly exists, and the residents of different planets may go from one to another. On this Earth, however, we have not invented any machine that can go directly from one planet to another, although an unsuccessful attempt has been made to go directly to the moon.
Yes, Mata. Thank you.
Thank
Text 9. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation purport. Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Lord Brahma, the father of Narada Muni, is the supreme person within this universe. As soon as Narada saw the great swan, he could understand that the Lord Brahma had arrived. Therefore, he immediately stood up, along with Swayambhuva Manu and his son Priyavrata, whom Narada was instructing. Then they folded their hands and began to worship Lord Brahma with great respect. As stated in the previous verse, Lord Brahma was accompanied by other demigods, but his specific carrier was the great swan. Therefore, as soon as Narada Muni saw the swan, he could understand that his father, Lord Brahma, who is also known as Hiranyagarbha, was arriving. Thus, he immediately stood up with Swayambhuva Manu and his son Priyavrata to receive Lord Brahma and offer him respect. Next verse also, let me continue. Text 10, Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, Chapter 1, Text 10. This Chapter 1 entitled as basically Activities of Maharaja Priyavrata. What are the activities he performed? He did. Translation. My dear King Parikshit, because Lord Brahma had finally descended from Satyaloka to Bhuloka, Narada Muni, Prince Priyavrata and Swayambhuva Manu came forward to offer him objects of worship and to praise him in highly qualified language according to Vedic etiquette. At that time, Lord Brahma, the original person of this universe, felt compassion for Priyavrata and looking upon him with a smiling face, spoke to him as follows. Purport. Lord Brahma descended from Satyaloka to see Priyavrata indicates that the matter was very serious. Narada Muni had come to advise Priyavrata about the value of spiritual life, knowledge, renunciation, and bhakti. And Lord Brahma knew that Narada's instructions were very impressive. Therefore, unless Lord Brahma personally went to Gandhamadana hill to request Priyavrata, Lord Brahma knew that Prince Priyavrata would not accept his father's order. Brahma's purpose was to break Priyavrata's determination. Therefore, Brahma first looked upon Priyavrata with compassion. His smile and compassionate features also indicated that although Brahma would request Priyavrata to accept household life, Priyavrata would not be out of touch with the devotional service. By the blessings of a Vaishnava, everything is possible. Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi. This is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as Kripa Siddhi, or perfection attained simply by the blessings of a superior person. One usually becomes liberated and perfect by executing the regulative principles set down in the Shastras. Nonetheless, many persons have achieved perfection simply by the blessings of a spiritual master or superior. Priyavrata was a grandson of Lord Brahma, and as joking, competition sometimes takes place between grandson and grandfather. In this case, also Priyavrata was determined to remain in meditation, whereas Brahma was determined that he ruled the universe. Thus, Lord Brahma's affectionate smile and glance meant, my dear Priyavrata, you have decided not to accept household life, but I have decided to convince you that you must accept it. Actually, Brahma had come to praise Priyavrata for his high standard of renunciation, austerity, penance, and devotion, so that he would not be deviated from devotional service, even though he would accept household life. In this verse, one important word is Sukta Vakena. Sukta Vakena by Vedic hymns. In the Vedas, there is a following prayer to Lord Brahma: Hiranyagarbha Samavartadagre Bhutasya Jata Patireka Asit. Brahma was received with the appropriate Vedic hymns, and because he was welcomed according to the Vedic etiquette, he was very pleased. Reborn. Okay. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Krishna is telling here. Important thing. Okay. Sri Brahma, the Supreme Person, Lord Brahma said, okay, that's way. So let me call out names. Hare Krishna, Lavanya, Hare Krishna, are you there? Raju Prabhu, Sapan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Continue.
Yeah. Translation. Lord Brahma, the supreme person within this universe, said, "My dear Priyavata, kindly hear attentively what I shall say to you. Do not be jealous of the Supreme Lord, who is beyond our experimental measurements. All of us, including Lord Shiva, your father, and a great sage Maharshi Narada, must carry out the order of the Supreme. We cannot deviate from his order. Purport of the 12 great authorities in devotional service, 4 Lord Brahma himself, his son Narada, Swayambhu Manu, and Lord Shiva were present before Priyavata. They were accompanied by many other authoritative sages. Brahma first wanted to impress upon Priyavata that although these great personalities are all authorities, they cannot possibly disobey the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is described in this verse as Deva, which means always glorious. The power, glory, and potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can never be diminished. In the Ishopanishad, the Lord is described as the Apala Vidya, which indicates that he is never affected by anything materially considered sinful. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam describes the Supreme Personality of Godhead as being so powerful that nothing we might consider abominable can affect him. An example sometimes given to explain the position of the Supreme Personality of God, Supreme Lord, is that of sun, which evaporates urine from the earth, but is never affected by the contamination. The Supreme Personality, the Supreme Lord, can never be accused of doing anything wrong. When Lord Brahma, can I continue, Prabhuji?
Continue.
When Lord, okay, my daughter wants to continue. Adya.
When Lord Brahma went to induce Priyavata to accept the responsibility for ruling the universe, he did not go whimsically. He was following the dictations of the Supreme Lord. Indeed, Brahma and other genuine authorities never do anything without his permission. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Teina Brahma Hridrahya Adi Kava. The Lord dedicates Vedic knowledge to Brahma through his heart. The more a living entity is purified by devotional service, the more he comes in direct contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Tesham yuktanam bhajatam priti-purvakam tadam buddhi-yogantam yena mamupayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Lord Brahma therefore had not come to Priyavata by his own whims. Rather, it is understood that he had been ordered to persuade Priyavata by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose activities cannot be understood by material sense, and who is therefore described herein as Aprameya. Thus, Lord Brahma first advised Priyavata to hear his word with attention and without envy. Thank you.
Finish.
Why one is induced to perform certain acts despite his desire to do something else is indicated herein. One cannot disobey the orders of Supreme Lord even if one is as powerful as Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Manu, or the great sage Narada. All these authorities are certainly very powerful, but they do not have the power to disobey the orders of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since Lord Brahma had come to Priyavrata in accordance with the orders of Supreme Lord, he first wanted to dispel any suspicious that he might be acting as Priyavrata's enemy. Lord Brahma was following the orders of Supreme Lord, and therefore it would be worthwhile for Priyavrata to accept Lord Brahma's order, as the Lord desired. Thank you, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Adya. Very nice. Haribo. Yeah, we'll continue. Text 12. Sapan Prabhu.
Yeah.
ప్రభు
లక్ష్మణ్ ప్రభు
ఇంపార్టెంట్
మీరు ఏదైనా
శ్లోక
చదువు అనుకుంటున్నారా?
అదే ఇది రిపీట్ చేయాలి ప్రభు, ఇది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ శ్లోక ఇది.
ఏ శ్లోక?
12th ప్రభు. తతస్య కశ్చిత్ అప్సవపస.
చేయండి అయితే, చేయండి. Do it, Prabhuji. One.
Yes, sir.
Let us do it.
చేయమంటారా?
చేయండి.
న తస్య కశ్చిత్ తపసా విద్యయా వా
న తస్య కశ్చిత్ తపసా విద్యయా
న యోగ వీర్యేణ మనీషయా వా
న యోగ వీర్యేణ మనీషయా వా
నైవార్థ ధర్మై పరత స్వతో వా
నైవార్థ ధర్మై పరత స్వతో వా
కృతం విహంతుం తనుభృత్ విభూయాత్.
కృతం విహంతుం తనుభృత్ విభూయాత్.
This actually tells, no matter what, however you might try, but if Lord decides something, it will happen. That's it.
Will of the Lord. Okay. Yes. Continue, Prabhu. Sapan Prabhu. Read the translation.
One cannot avoid
Unless,
the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead, not by strength of severe austerities and exalted Vedic education, or the power of mystic yoga, physical prowess, or intellectual activities. Nor can one use his power of religion, his material opulence, or any other means, either by himself or with the help of others, to defy the orders of the Supreme Lord. That is not possible for any living being, from Brahma down to the ant. Purport. In Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 3.8.9, Yajnavalkya said to Gargi, the daughter of Garga Muni, Etasya va aksharasya prashasane Gargi Surya Chandram sau vidratau tistaha. My dear Gargi, everything is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the sun, the moon, and other controllers and demigods like Brahma and King Indra are all under his control. An ordinary human being or animal who has accepted a material body cannot go beyond the jurisdiction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's control. A material body includes senses. However, the sense activities of so-called scientists who try to be free from God's law or laws of nature are useless. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Mama Maya Duratyaya. It is impossible to surpass the control of material nature, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is working behind it. Sometimes we are so proud of our austerities, penances, and mystic yogic powers, but it is clearly stated herein that one cannot surpass the laws and directions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, either by dint of mystic power, a scientific education, or austerities and penances. It is impossible. The word Manisaya, by intelligence, is of special significance. Priyavrata might argue that Lord Brahma was requesting him to accept family life and responsibility for ruling a kingdom, although Narada Muni had advised him to not to enter into household life and be entangled in material affairs. Whom to accept would be a puzzle for Priyavrata, because both Lord Brahma and Narada Muni are authorities. Under the circumstances, the use of word Manisaya is very important. very appropriate, for it indicates that since both Narada Muni and Lord Brahma are authorized to give instruction, Priyavrata should neglect neither of them but use his intelligence to follow the advice of both. To solve such dilemmas, Srila Grupa Goswami has given a very clear conception of intelligence. He says,
Yes. Lecture of devotion, Prabhu. Chapa. Recite.
yeah, Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatarham Upayunjutaha Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. Vishayan, material affairs, should be accepted without attachment, and everything should be dovetailed with the service of the Lord. That is real intelligence. Manisa, becoming a family man or king in material world is not harmful if one accepts everything for Krishna's service. That necessitates clear intelligence. Mayavadi philosophers say, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. This material world is false, and only the absolute truth is real. However, an intelligent devotee in line of Lord Brahma and the great sage Narada, or in other words, the Brahma Sampradaya, does not consider this world false. That which is created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be false, but using it for enjoyment is. Everything is meant to be enjoyed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the supreme proprietor and enjoyer, and therefore everything should be dovetailed for his enjoyment and service. Regardless of one's circumstances, favorable or unfavorable, one should use everything to serve the Supreme Lord. That is the perfect way to use one's intelligence. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. So, one more time. Okay, just want to see. One cannot avoid the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not by the strength of severe austerities and exalted Vedic education or the power of mystery of physical prowess or intellectual activities. Nor can one use his power of religion, his material opulence, or any other means, either by himself or with the help of others, to defy the orders of the Supreme Lord. That is not possible for any living being, from Brahma down to the ant. Haribol, nice. Thank you for recitation. Next 13th verse. Let me see who else there. Sandhya Mataji Haribol, I want to read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Rashmi
Tanam. Yes,
Mataji.
Prabhu.
The next Rashmi Mataji, please be ready. Okay, next. 13, continue. Yeah.
Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. My dear Priyavrata, by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities accept different types of bodies for birth and death, activity, lamentation, illusion, fear of future dangers, and happiness and distress. Purport. Every living entity who has come to this material world has come here for material enjoyment. But according to his own karma activities, he must accept a certain type of body given to him by material nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.27, Prakrite Kriyamanani Gunai Karmani Sarvashaha. Everything is being done by Prakriti, material nature, under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Modern scientists do not know why there are varieties of bodies in 84 million forms. The fact is that all these bodies are ordained for the living entities by the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to the living entities' desires. He gives the living entities freedom to act as they like, but on the other hand, they must accept a body according to the reactions of their activities. Thus, there are different types of bodies. Same living entities have short duration of life, whereas others live for fantastic durations. Every one of them, however, from Brahma down to the ant, acts according to the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is sitting in everyone's heart, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.15.
Yes.
Shall I continue, Prabhupada?
Yeah, finish. Yes.
Yeah. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritirjnanamapohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. It is not a fact, however, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives direction to certain living entities in one way and other living entities in other way. The truth is that every living entity has a certain desire, and the Supreme Lord gives him a chance to fulfill it. The best course, therefore, is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and act according to his desire. One who does so is liberated.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Yeah, Rashmi Mataji, next Lavanya, be ready. Okay. Rashmi Mataji. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah, Dandavat Pranam. Please read Mataji. Lavanya, be ready next. Okay. Haribol.
Translation and purport given by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear boy, all of us are bound by the Vedic injunctions to the divisions of Varnashrama according to our qualities and work. These divisions are difficult to avoid because they are scientifically arranged. We must therefore carry out our duties of Varnashrama Dharma. Like bulls obliged to move according to the direction of the driver pulling on ropes knotted to their noses. Purport. In this verse, the word Tantyam Guna Karma Dhamabhi are very important. We each get a body according to our association with the gunas, the quality or mode of material nature, and we act accordingly. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the four order of the social system, namely Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, are arranged according to guna and karma, their qualities and work. There is some controversy about this. However, because some say that since one receives a body according to the guna and karma of his past life, it is one's birth that determines his social status. Others says, however, that one's birth according to the guna and karma of his past life is not the essential consideration, since one can change his guna and karma even in this life. Thus, they say that the four divisions of the social order, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, should be arranged according to the guna and karma of this life. This version is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam by Narada Muni. While instructing Maharaj Yudhishthira about the symptom of guna and karma, Narada Muni said that these symptoms must govern the division of society. In other words, if a person in a family of Brahmana has the symptom of a Shudra, he should be designated as a Shudra. Similarly, if a Shudra has Brahminical qualities, he should be designated a Brahmana. The Varnashrama system is scientific. Therefore, if we accept the division of Varna and Ashrama according to the Vedic instructions, our lives will be successful. Unless human society is thus divided and arranged, it cannot be perfect, as stated in Vishnu Purana 3.3.8.9. Varnashrama charvata purusena paraha puman Vishnur aradhyate pantha nanya tatto sakar karanam. This Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is worshipped by the proper execution of prescribed duty in the system of Varna and Ashrama. There is no other way to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One must be situated in the institution of four Varnas and Ashramas. All the human society is meant to worship Lord Vishnu. At the present moment, however, human society does not know that this is the ultimate goal of perfection of life. Therefore, instead of worshipping Lord Vishnu, people have been educated to worship matter. According to the direction of modern society, men think they can advance in civilization by manipulating matter to build skyscrapers, big roads, automobiles, and so on. Such a civilization must certainly be called materialistic. because it's people do not know the goal of life. The goal of life is to reach Vishnu, but instead of reaching Vishnu, people are bewildered by external manifestation of the material energy. Therefore, progress in material advancement is blind, and the leader of the such material advancement are also blind. They are leading their followers in the wrong way. It is best, therefore, to accept.
Read.
Yes. It is best, therefore, to accept the injunction of the Vedas, which are mentioned in this verse as Yad Vachi. In accordance with those injunctions, everyone should find out whether he is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, and should thus be educated accordingly. Then his life will be successful. Otherwise, all of human society will be confused. If human society is divided scientifically according to the Varna and Ashrama, and if the Vedic directions are followed, one's life, regardless of his position, will be successful. It is not that Brahmanas will be elevated to the transcendental platform, but not to the Shudras. If the Vedic injunction are followed, all of them, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudras, will be elevated to the transcendental platform, and their lives will be successful. The injunctions in the Vedas explicit direction from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The example cited in this verse is that bulls tied by rope in their nostrils moves according to the direction of the driver. Similarly, if we move according to the instruction of the Vedas, the perfect path of our lives will be set. Otherwise, if we do not move in that way but act according to our whimsical ideas, our lives will be spoiled by confusion and will end in a despair. Actually, because people at the present moment are not following the instruction of Vedas, they are all confused. We must therefore accept the instruction of Lord Brahma to Priyavrata as the factual scientific direction leading the successful life. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 16.23. यह शास्त्राविहिम उत्सृज्य यत् शास्त्राविहिम उत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारतः नासा सिद्धम अपाप्नोति ना सुखम ना परां गतिम्. If we do not live according to the injunction of the Shastras and the Vedas, we shall never achieve success in the life. So, to say nothing of happiness or elevation to higher status of living. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mata. We shall never achieve success in life, to say nothing of happiness or elevation to higher status of living. Yeah. Hare Krishna, continue, Lavanya. 15th verse.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Chala big purports rasini Srila Prabhupada. He has written in ecstasy. He has written, every verse is a big purport on. Haribol, continue.
Yeah, translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. My dear Priyavrata, according to our association with different types of modes of material nature, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives us our specific bodies and the happiness and distress we achieve. One must therefore remain situated as he is, and he is conducted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, exactly as a blind man is led by a person who has eyes with which to see. Purport. By material means, one cannot avoid the happiness and distress unique to his particular body. There are 84 lakhs bodily forms which destined to enjoy and suffer a certain amount of happiness and distress. This we cannot change, for the happiness and distress are ordained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in accordance with whose decision have been received our bodies. Since we cannot avoid the plan of the Supreme Godhead, we must agree to be directed by him, just as a blind man is led by a person who has eyes.
Under any circumstances, if we remain in the condition allotted to us by the Supreme Lord and to follow his instructions, we will become perfect. The main purpose of life is to follow the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is such instructions that constitutes one's religion or occupational duty.
Finish, read it.
In Bhagavad Gita,
Yeah.
In Bhagavad Gita, therefore, Lord Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Give up all other engagements. Simply surrender unto me and follow me. That is in Bhagavad Gita 18.66. This process of surrendering by following the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not meant for any particular caste or creed. A Brahmana can surrender and can also a Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Everyone can adopt this process. As stated in this verse, Chakshusmatanda iva na niyamanaha. One should follow the Lord the way a blind man follows a person who has eyes. If we follow the Supreme Personality of Godhead by following the directions he gives in the Vedas and Bhagavad Gita, our lives will be successful. The Lord therefore says, Manmanabhav madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishya satyante pratijane priyosime. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your obeisances unto me. Then you will certainly come back to me, back to Godhead. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. From Bhagavad Gita 18.65. This instruction is meant for everyone, a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. If anyone from any division of life surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and follows his instruction, his life will be successful. You can give to some other, right? It's a big, right? So, thank you.
Mana Hakinchan Prabhu, then Lalman Prabhu lastly. Okay, Hakinchan Prabhu, please continue.
Yeah, the previous verse has given the analogy of the bulls moving under the direction of a driver of a bullock cart. The bulls being completely surrendered to the driver remains wherever he wants to place them and eat whatever he wants them to eat. Similarly, being completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we should not aspire for happiness or regret distress. We must be satisfied with the position allotted to us by the Lord. We should follow the path of devotional service and not to be dissatisfied with the happiness and distress He has given. People in the material modes of passion and ignorance generally cannot understand the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with its 84 lakhs forms of life. But the human form affords one of the special privilege to understand this plan, engage in devotional service, and to elevate oneself to the highest position of perfection by following the Lord's instructions. The entire world is working under the influence of the modes of the material nature, especially ignorance and passion. But if people engage in hearing and chanting about the glories of the Lord, their lives can be successful and they can be elevated to the highest perfection. In the Brahmanarida Purana, therefore, it is said, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, 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 Anya, Gatiranya, Anyata. So I should stop here.
Complete the end. Complete.
In this age of Kali, there is no other way for the spiritual perfection than the holy name. The holy name of the Lord. Everyone should be given the chance to hear the holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For thus, one will gradually come to understand this real position in life and be elevated to the transcendental position above the modes of goodness. Thus, all impediments to his progress will be cut to the pieces. In conclusion, therefore, we must be satisfied in whatever position we have been put into the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we should try to engage ourselves in devotional service then our life will be successful. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Okay, next verse. Text 16. Chadvan, Prabhu. Haribol?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Prabhu name తెలుసా?
Translation.
లలిత్ మోహన్ ప్రభు ఆయన చదవలే ఇంకా అది
Okay.
Translation. Even if one is liberated, he nevertheless accepts the body he has received according to his past karma. Prabhu, once more. Even if one is liberated, he nevertheless accepts the body he has received according to his past karma. Without misconceptions, however, he regards his enjoyment and suffering due to that karma the way an awkward person regards a dream. Sorry, a awakened person regards a dream he had while sleeping. He thus remains steadfast and never works to achieve another material body under the influence of three modes of material nature. ప్రభు ఒక్కసారి చదువుతా ప్రభు మళ్ళీ. He thus remains steadfast and never works to achieve another material body under the influence of three modes of material nature. Thank you, Prabhu.
ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ పర్పట్ ఎవరు చదువుతారు ప్రభు మీరే చదవాలి
అదే చదువుతాను దేశీ భక్తి వేదాంత స్వామి శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదకి జై. The difference between a liberated and conditioned soul is that the conditioned soul is under the concept of bodily life, whereas a liberated person knows that he is not the body but a spirit, different from the body. Priyavrata might have thought that although a conditioned soul is forced to act according to the laws of nature, why should he, who has far advanced in spiritual understanding, accept the same kind of bondage and impediments to the spiritual advancement? To answer this doubt, Lord Brahma informed him that even those who are liberated do not resent accepting in the present body the results of their past activities. Okay. While sleeping, one dreams many unreal things, but when he awakens, he disregards them and makes progress in factual life. Similarly, a liberated person, one who has completely understood that he is not the body but a spirit soul, disregards past activities performed in ignorance and performs his present activities in such a way that they produce no reactions. This is described in Bhagavad Gita 3.9. Yajnarthat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. If one performs activities for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality, the Yajna Purusha, his work does not produce reactions, whereas karmis who act for themselves are bound by the reactions of their work. A liberated person, therefore, does not think about whatever he has ignorantly done in the past. Instead, he acts in such a way that he will not produce another body by fruitive activities, as clearly mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Prabhu, should I continue?
one paragraph ఉంది ఫినిష్ చేయండి.
Sir. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Regardless of what we have done in our past lives, if we engage ourselves in unalloyed devotional service to the Lord in this life, we will always be situated in the Brahma Bhuta state, liberated state, free from reactions, and will not be obliged to accept another material body. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita 4.9. After giving up the body, one who has acted in that way does not accept another material body, but instead goes back home, back to Godhead. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Jai. Thank you. One more time I want to see here. Prabhupada written. Okay, very good. This statement gives Nice confidence, okay. He thus remains steadfast and never works to achieve another material body under the influence of material modes. 3 modes of material nature. So అదే అనుకున్నాను ఇదే పెడుతుంది ఎస్ వాంశ విచారణ భక్తి యోగేన సేవతే సగుణాన్ సమతీత్యేతన్ బ్రహ్మభూయాయ కల్పతే ఇన్ డ్రీమ్ స్టేట్ వన్ మోర్ టైం ప్రభుపద పరపోట్ల చదువుదాము వన్ థింగ్ సో anybody read this highlights one please one more time.
Lord Brahma informed him that even those who are liberated do not resent accepting in the present body the results of their past activities. While sleeping, one dreams many unreal things, but when he awakens, he disregards them and makes progress in factual life. Similarly, a liberated person who has completely understood that he is not the body but a spirit soul disregards past activities performed in ignorance and performs his present activities in such a way that they produce no reactions.
Akarma.
Hare Krishna.
Akarmic activity. Bhakti yoga lo Krishna centered activities, whatever perform, it won't produce any reactions. Very good. Thank you, Bob. Actually, yeah, what is the time now? Another 5 minutes we can read. Let us see. Another 1 or 2 verses, let us read. Okay. Yeah. Bhakti Vaibhavam, yes. Vani Mataji or Deepa Mataji, please read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Translation. Even if he goes from forest to forest, one who is not self-controlled must always fear material bondage because he is living with 6 co-wives, the mind and knowledge acquiring senses. Even householder life, however, cannot harm a self-satisfied learned man who has conquered his senses. Kapat. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Grihe va vanete thake, ha gauranga bale dake. Whether one is situated in the forest or at home, if he is engaged in the devotional service of Lord Chaitanya, he is a liberated person. Here this is also repeated. For one who is not controlled his senses, going to the forest to become a so-called yogi is meaningless because his uncontrolled mind and senses are going with him. He cannot achieve anything, even by giving up household life and staying in the forest. Formerly, many mercantile men from the upcountry of India used to go to Bengal, and thus there is a familiar saying, if you go to Bengal, your fortune will go with you. Our first concern, therefore, should be to control the senses, and since the senses cannot be controlled, unless engaged in devotional service of the Lord, our most important duty is to engage the senses in devotional service. Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchati. Bhakti means engagement of the purified senses in the service of the Lord. Hearing Lord Brahma indicates that instead of going to the forest with uncontrolled senses, it is better and more secure to engage the senses in the service of the Lord. Even household life can do no harm to a self-controlled person acting in this way. It cannot force him into material bondage. Srila, 1 minute. Srila Rupa Goswami.
Yes.
Srila Rupa Goswami has further enunciated this position. Iha yasya harir dasye karmana manasa gira nikhilasva apya avasthasu jivan muktan sa uchyati. Regardless of one's circumstances, if one fully engages his activities, mind and words in the devotional service of the Lord, he should be understood to be a liberated person. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a responsible officer and a householder, yet his service to the cause of expanding the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is unique. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur says, Dudantendriya Kala Sarpa Patali Prothkhata Damshrayate. The sense organs are certainly our greatest enemies and they are therefore compared to venomous serpents. However, if a venomous serpent is bereft of its poison fangs, it is no longer fearful. Similarly, if the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, there is no need to fear their activities. The devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement move within the material world, but because their senses are fully engaged in the service of the Lord, they are always aloof from the material world. They are always living in transcendental position. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Vani Mataji.
Prabhuji, give it to someone else. Prabhuji, I cannot read now.
Okay, I will read and
Yes,
we
sir.
can wrap up. Okay.
Yeah.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Text 18. One who is situated in household life and who systematically conquers his mind and five sense organs is like a king in his fortress who conquers his powerful enemies. After one has been trained in household life and his lusty desires have decreased, he can move anywhere without danger. A beautiful verse. I put duplicate. Purport. One paragraph. Yes, we'll continue. The Vedic system of four varnas and four ashramas is very scientific, and its entire purpose is to enable one to control the senses. Before entering household life, Grihastha ashrama, a student is fully trained to become Jitendriya, a conqueror of the senses. Such a mature student is allowed to become a householder, and because he was first trained in conquering his senses, he retires from household life and becomes Vanaprastha as soon as the strong waves of youthful life are past and he reaches the verge of old age at 50 years or slightly more. Then, after being further trained, he accepts sannyasa. He is then a fully learned and renounced person who can move anywhere and everywhere without fear of being captivated by material desires. The senses are considered very powerful enemies. As a king in a strong fortress can conquer powerful enemies, so a householder in Grihastha household life can conquer the lusty desires of youth and be very secure when he takes vanaprastha and sannyasa. Reboot. Okay. So let me see one thing here. 19, 31. Okay. Okay, devotees, thank you very much for reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sapan Prabhu, I need help.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So next verse మీరు కంటిన్యూ చేపియండి ప్రభు సరేనా?
Okay, Prabhuji.
ఐ వాంట్ టు రిసైడ్ ఒకసారి మీరు స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేయండి. నిన్న చెప్పింది ఐ వాంట్ టు రిసైడ్ వన్స్ and then I will log off.
Okay, Prabhuji. Let me. Yeah, I'm sharing this.
రేపు చదువుదాం సెకండ్ టైం రీడింగ్ అంటే మళ్ళీ చేద్దాం రేపు చేద్దాం. ఎస్ ప్రభు ఒక్కసారి హెల్ప్ చేయండి ప్రభు. లలిత్ మోహన్ ప్రభు కెన్ యూ ప్లీజ్ రిసైడ్ వన్ మోర్ టైమ్ 67 ఐ వాంట్ టు రిసైడ్.
Yes, bro. कस्त्वत्पदाब्जं विजहाति पंडितो यस्ते अवमानव्ययमानकेतनः विशङ्कयास्मात् गुरुरर्चति स्म यद् विनोपपत्तिं मनवश्चतुर्दशः.
Thank you, Babu. Text 67. Translation let read. My dear Lord, any learned person knows that unless he worship you, his entire life is spoiled. Okay, Ekeha Kurunandana. Krishna himself says, Ekeha Kurunandana. Knowing this, how could he give up worshipping you, lotus feet? Even our father and spiritual master, Lord Brahma, unhesitatingly worshipped you. And the 14 Manus followed in his footsteps. Reborn. कस्त्वत्पदाब्जं विजहाति पंडितो यस्ते वमान व्ययमानकेतनः विशन्कयास्मात् गुरुरार्चति स्म यद् विनोपपत्तिं मनवश्चतुर्दश. Hare Krishna. Chaturdasha. Hare Bol. Thank you, devotees. Please continue recitation until 9:15 or 9:20 and wrap up. Okay. Hari Bol. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Sapan Prabhu. Thank you, Lalman
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Devotees, Hari Bol.
Prabhu, should I continue, Prabhu?
Ah,
Next
yes.
one?
Prabhuji.
Yes. మీరు చేయండి నెక్స్ట్ వర్స్ ట్రై
Okay.
చేయండి. 68 one.
Okay.
68 one we will try. Yes. Hari bol.
So this is a normal lot.
I'm lagging.
Yes, Prabhu. Please. Thank you. Please have a happy Krishna conscious night. So this is a small shloka actually. These two shlokas like 68, 69 and 70. They are again will come to the normal tune. अतः त्वमसिनो ब्रह्मन् परमात्मन् विपश्चितां विश्वं रुद्रभयाद्वष्टम् अकुतश्चिद्भया गतिः. Vipaschitam means very learned person. Okay. This verse actually says, actually a properly learned person, Tvam asino Brahman, will learn what? That you are the supreme and you are the Paramatman. Okay. Actually, a proper learned person will come into a conclusion that you are the Brahman and you are a Paramatma. Who? Vishnu. Okay. Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvashtam. All this world na will be fearful of me. Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvashtam. Why they are fearful of me? Because I will dvashta. I will do complete destruction. So generally, all these universal people are fearful of me. Akutaschid bhaya agatihi. Akutaschid bhaya. Undoubtedly fearless. Who? That vipaschitam. Why they are fearless? Because they know that you are the Paramatma and you are the Brahman. Okay. Here he starts concluding his prayer. Who? Lord Rudra will actually starts concluding his prayer here. That at last he will say, actually it is you who are Brahman and Paramatma also. And a very learned person will know this. And because of knowing this, they are not fearful of me. Okay. This is what this shloka means. Anyone has any doubts? Shall we go to synonyms and translation?
Any difficult words,
Right.
Prabhuji?
And we will go with synonyms and translation first, then I will do that.
Okay, Prabhuji.
2 devotees with synonyms and 2 devotees with translation. Okay.
Yeah. Can I do, Prabhu?
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Atha, therefore, Tvam, Tvam, you, my Lord, Asiyare na, our Brahman.
Prabhu, Asi means are. You are. That is English.
Oh, okay. Asiyar na, our Brahman, O Supreme Brahman, Paramatman, O Supreme, O Super Soul. Vipaschitam, for the learned, wise men. Vishwam, the whole universe. Rudra Bhaya, being afraid of Rudra. Drivastam, annihilated. Akustasit Bhaya, undoubtedly fearless. Gati, destination.
Yeah, one more devotee can read synonyms.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll read. Synonyms.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Atha, therefore, Tvam, you, my Lord, Asi, are, Nah, our, Brahman, O Supreme Brahman, Paramatman, O Super Soul, Vipaschitam, for the learned wise men, Viswam, the whole universe, Rudra Bhaya, being afraid of Rudra, Dvastam, annihilated, Akustaschit Bhaya, undoubtedly fearless, Gati, destination. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Akutaschida, that is Akutaschit Bhaya. Okay. 2 devotees can go with the translation.
Yeah. Translation. My dear Lord, all actually learned persons know you as the Supreme Brahman and the Super Soul. Although the entire universe is afraid of Lord Rudra, who ultimately annihilates everything, For the learned devotees, you are the fearless destination of all. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. One more devotee.
Translation. My dear Lord, all actually learned persons know you as the Supreme Brahman and the Super Soul. Although the entire universe is afraid of Lord Rudra, who ultimately annihilates everything, for the learned devotees, you are the fearless destination of all. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah, we will go with the recitations. Akutaschid bhaya is the only word here that also, you can do it. Okay, that's not no tough words in this. Please repeat this after me. Atatvam asino Brahman.
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 Paramatman vipaschitam. Paramatman vipaschitam. Paramatman vipaschitam. Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvashtam.
Vishwam
Rudra Bhayadvashtam.
Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvashtam.
Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvashtam.
Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvashtam.
Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Okay, two lines together now. Atatvam asino Brahman Paramatman vipaschitam.
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 Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvastam Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
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 All the four lines together now. Atatvam asino Brahman Paramatman vipaschitam. Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvastam Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Atatvam asino Brahman Paramatman vipaschitam. Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvastam Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Atatvam asino Brahman Paramatman vipaschitam. Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvastam Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Atatvam asino Brahman Paramatman vipaschitam. Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvastam Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Atatvam asino Brahman Paramatman vipaschitam. Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvastam Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Atatvam asino Brahman Paramatman vipaschitam. Vishwam Rudra Bhayadvastam Akutaschid bhayagatihi.
Thank you, Prabhuji and Matajis. Sapan Prabhu, you can make them recite.
Yes,
Thank
Prabhu.
you.
Yeah, Mataji, please take turns.
Shall I do, Prabhuji?
Yes, anyone, Mataji.
Can I do, Prabhuji?
Go ahead, Mataji.
अथत्वमसि नो ब्रह्मन् परमात्मन् विपश्चिताम् विश्वं रुद्रभयध्वष्टं ध्वस्तम् अकुतश्चित् भयागतिः। हरे कृष्ण।
अतत्वम् असि नो ब्रह्मन् परमात्मन् विपश्चिताम् विश्वं रुद्रभयाद्विश्वम् आकुतश्चित् भयागतिः।
अथात्वम् असि नो ब्रह्मन् परमात्मन् विपश्चिताम् विश्वं रुद्रभयाद्वष्टम् अकुतश्चित् भयागतिः। Thank you, Prabhuji.
अतत्वम् असि नो ब्रह्मन् परमात्मन् विपश्चितं विश्वं रुद्रभयाद्वष्टम् अकुतश्चित् भयागति। Thank you, Prabhuji.
Akinchan Prabhu. Akinchan Prabhu.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Srimad Bhagavatam 4.24.68. अतत्वम् असि नो ब्रह्मन् परमात्मन् विपश्चिताम् विश्वं रुद्रभयाद्वष्टम् अकुतश्चित् भयागतिः. Thank you.
Thank you. Murli Prabhu, do you want to do?
Okay. Hare Krishna. अतत्वम् असि नो ब्रह्मन् परमात्मन् विपश्चिताम् विश्वं रुद्रभयध्वस्तं मकुतश्चित् भयागतिः.
Hare Krishna. Akinchan Prabhu. Okay, yeah, let me do it. Atatvam asino brahman paramatman vipaschitam vishwam rudra bhayadvashtam akutaschid bhayagatihi. Hare Krishna. Lalitma Prabhu, can we conclude?
I'll do, Prabhuji. Just
Yeah.
Lavanya Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
अतत्वम् असि नो ब्रह्मन् परमात्मन् विपश्चिता विश्वं रुद्रभयाद्वस्तम् अकुतश्चित् भयागतिः. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Vancha
Yeah,
kalpataru.
next two shlokas na Prabhu. So they will be concluding actually. So we will be concluding RudraGita within this week. So what should we do next?
Maybe we can recite
So,
together, Prabhuji, in batches.
Prabhuji, Bhagavatam study for that. Yeah, I think about 13 slokas only that we can start.
అచ్చా మీకు ఉందా అది ఇప్పుడు?
ఉంది ప్రభుజీ.
ఎన్ని శ్లోకాలు మాతాజీ?
కొంచెం ఎక్కువ ఉన్నాయి ప్రభుజీ, 10 పైన. నాకు ఎగ్జాక్ట్ నంబర్ తెలీదు, 13 or 15 అనుకుంటున్నా.
అచ్చా అచ్చా, అంటే ఇది ఫుల్ పెద్ద బుల్లెట్ అన్నమాట.
ఆల్మోస్ట్ 15-16 days పైన పట్టేస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ. ఒక హాఫ్ మంత్ పోతుంది ఆ శ్లోకాలు రోజు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తున్నా.
ఓకే ఓకే మాతాజీ, థ్యాంక్ యూ. Prabhu, you can conclude, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay, Prabhu. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.